Vous m'entendez là? Et là? Ah, c'est bon. Et pour déplacer les diapos, j'utilise ça. Très bien. Bonjour à tous. Hello. I think we've got to do the presentation in English. Is everybody English speaker or is everybody French? Because then I do it in French. English. One English person, another one. All right then. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I like challenges. Right. Welcome to this presentation. We are Nocody. So the goal for us today is to present Nocody, our company. There are going to be two parts to it. One where we're going to be talking about empowering people, and the other one where we're going to be talking empowering people in need, and that's what I'm going to start with. Okay? So I'll aim to do 20 minutes and 20 minutes, but that's probably going to be a bit shorter, and then we're going to have time to have a question and answers. Is that okay with everyone? Great. So, Nocody, we are a young company. We are just about 1 year old, so that's very young, I guess, compared to all the people that are around. That doesn't mean that we don't understand what we do. We founded the company with Nicola, who's just sitting here, something like 1 year ago. That was in August last year. But we've been working together on no-code for quite a while. So Nocody is based in Bordeaux. I think everyone knows what that is. If you come to our stand, you can also check out the bottles of red wine that we've brought with us. There's a draw that will take place tonight at 5 o'clock. Nicola and I came to the idea of setting up this company through the past experience that we had working together. We are different type of persons, as it's always the case. I'm more, both of us are entrepreneurial. Nicola did studying in computing, but then worked as a farmer, believe it or not, before becoming a geek in the company. And he's very much a visionary person as well. He likes to imagine, find solution, and we'll look and check out what's happening in the world to try to implement it within the company. Myself, I'm more kind of a problem solver, and that's how I started. I set up a company 10 years ago, my first company. Nothing to do with no code. We are market research dedicated to the payment industry, believe it or not. And Nicola started working with me after doing 7 years of farming. And what happened is that we started working together on that first company, market research. And at some point, both of us needed to do something new to give some sense to our work, to our daily life. I guess everybody's the same. We work, we've got colleagues. We don't always like the job we do, but still, you know, it's a bread earner. And the two of us wanted to do something completely different, and that meant having a social impact on our environment. And that's how it started. That's my social guru side. With regards to Business Angel, the first company worked pretty well, and we came up with the idea of setting up a company, or it's not a company, it's actually a non-profit organization called Debout. If you're interested, please check it out on the internet. Debout was set up something like 4 years ago by the two of us again. And it's all about, it came as a result of what we could see in Bordeaux, where we're from, where there's a lot of homeless people, like unfortunately in lots of places. And we thought that we could do something about it. And we thought, well, let's set something up, because if you take people that are homeless or that have been unemployed for a long, long time, if you accompany them well enough, then you should be able to, to give them a good hand and hopefully get them to go back to work. And that's what Debout was set up. Debout stands for two hands. It's a play on games, a play on words as well. So Debout is to stand up. So that's where the names come from. We also say to meet both ends. Les deux bouts, joindre les deux bouts. Okay, that's where it comes from. And the idea was, okay, we're gonna do that charity work, that organization, and that was 2019, so 2019, so 4 years ago now. And we've been accompanying quite a lot of people. We help them through housing as well. We do the full spectrum, so the end-to-end solution, as people would say. And the complexity we had several complexity, but one of them was to take those people, so you work on all aspects that can be problematic for them, whether that is finances, whether that is health, mobility. So we've got social workers. We professionalized the organization very quickly, because working with volunteers only was problematic, too slow for liking. So we got a team of social workers, and we started working on that. The problem that we faced was financing. We wanted something that would be economically viable. And to do that, you either go for public fundings, which are challenging to find. You can go to entrepreneur that would agree to subsidize you. And the other solution is, work and sell some stuff that you produce. And that's where the final bit, the organic farm, comes in. Taking those people through classic work was challenging for them, challenging for us. So Nicola had the great idea to, what about, setting up an organic farm? That's what he used to do, produce and sell veg. And that's what we decided to do as an association. Didn't want to do that. He wanted to move on to development, IT development himself. But we had a field where this had been performed in the past, organic field, all great. And that's what we did, and that organic farm was set up 2 years ago. And that's what we've got. So we've got 2 acres. We've got 2,000 square meters. So feel free to translate that into empiric values. I won't work it out. And we've got 2,000 square meters. That's four greenhouses that we've built 2 years ago. And we got a farmer who helps us through everything. We've got a team now. These days we are accompanying 20 people in total, and that is actually great. The farming as well is giving us a lot of visibility. You talk to the population, to people around you about helping people that are homeless. Yes, they like it, but where are they going to live? Are they going to be living in my back garden? Please no. And how much is it going to cost the community? Challenging as an offer. If you start talking about, we're going to build a farm, we're going to grow veggies, and we're going to provide them to your school, to your hospitals, to your elderly houses, then you've got something that is far more attractive, and that pleases everyone. So we've got, at last, a great model, and we do that in Bordeaux, something like 30 kilometers away from Bordeaux. And our goal was always to replicate that, okay? And that is important for many reasons. What you'll have guessed is that the challenge that we faced very quickly was managing data, okay? So you're gonna accompany lots of people. You're gonna have those people in houses, in flats. You're gonna have to sign a contract with them. You're gonna have to evaluate the state of the flat before and afterwards. You're gonna have to monitor all the actions that you put in place, because you get a little bit of public fundings and you need to report on how you're gonna be using those funds and what's the actual impact that you're having with this funding. So we had lots of admin, lots of work, reporting, and we started looking at solutions around us. And you've got solutions. That was 5 years ago. But those solutions for a non-profit organization do cost a lot. We were talking 30,000 euros at that time, plus training cost, plus functionalities that if you want to have them, you've got to pay for development. Excuse me. You know what I'm talking about. It's the tools were there. The tools were there, but they were not appropriate for us. And we started thinking, well, what we need is a database. It's a front end. That's what we do in our first company. Nicolas wants to do development. I think we've got a job for you here. And that's how it started. Yes, I'm not looking at my presentation. Social workers, they need, I mean, like everyone, this applies to social working, to non-profit organization, but it applies to any company. You've got people spending far too much time on doing admin work. We've met some association spending a third of their time, 3 people, a third of them were doing data capture and reporting on Excel, as usual. So we didn't want our social workers to be diverted from their work, so we had to have tools. Nicolas started developing tools, and very quickly we implemented quite a few things. We've developed an app on finances, so capturing all your receipts, matching them. We've got an API with our bank, and we can send that to our accountant straight away. That's important because we do quite a lot of purchases. We sell quite a lot of veggies as well. This year we're selling for 50,000 euros roughly. So there's lots of purchases taking place. We respond to RFP, so a request for proposals, and you need to follow what you're doing. So you submit a request for funding. What's happening? Do we win it? Do we lose it? Etc. That's another app, and so and so. And Nicolas was working his arse off, if I may say, trying to get those applications out. We started with AppSheet, and quickly we got to the limit of it. Moved on to Power Apps. That was great. We loved it, and that is something that we keep looking at. However, for the need of the organization, we quickly moved on to Bubble. So Bubble and Xano. So that's what we currently have. And that's actually very useful for us and very, very fast to implement as well. And when we were talking to all the other organizations around us, all the public institutions, the other associations, vendors as well, everybody was looking at our apps with lots of interest. How are you doing this so quickly? And that's how the idea of setting up a web agency came to fruition. So that's how it started. And then Nicola, as I said, was working hard, really hard, but not hard enough. Oh no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Not fast enough. Not fast enough. Hard enough, definitely, but fast enough, no. And we had to have someone else. I mean, let's give a lot of credit to the guy. He was not only developing, he was managing all the partnership and managing the project as the development of the association. I was funding and doing a bit of admin, so I think the credit comes to him. But yes, despite all the hard work, he needed some help. And looking for someone that can help you is very challenging in this world, as you know it, whether you are looking for a classic developer or whether you're looking for a no-code developer. And that's when we started thinking, well, you know, we can't afford, as an association, we can't afford a 70, 80K classic developer. There's none anywhere around where we live. We need to find a solution. So we want to develop apps. We've got no one to do it. That's a no-brainer. We needed to set up a Nocody's Academy in parallel to Nocody's agency, and that's what we've done. And that was last year. So what are the next steps for us on the association? We've got people that we have to get back to work. A lot of them have broken backgrounds, but it doesn't mean they can't think, doesn't mean that they can't create. And the idea is very much to identify some of them that could actually become no-code builders. And we believe that this is feasible, not for everyone, but a few of them definitely. We've got some of them that like playing with the computers and do various things. The goal is very much to get some of them on board and see what we can do. There's lots of work on enhancing the application for the Boo. There's been lots of work done. There's still a lot to do to facilitate processes, enhancing everything. So that's also the next step for us. There's been a hackathon that was done by a company, La Chaise, the rolling chair, La Chaise basculante, or I can't remember who did that for. Sorry? Rocking chair, the French version of it, with La Croix-Rouge, the Red Cross, over the weekend. So things are happening, and we want to be part of it as a company, but also as for the association. What we do is required by all associations. So can we start sharing our experience? Can we start sharing our software to make it easier for other non-profitable organizations? That's the idea that we've got. And you've got, unfortunately, they were supposed to be here. They're not. No Code for Good, also a non-profitable organization organizing hackathon, so similar to the rocking chair. It's at national level, and the goal for us is to be part of that, either by entering the association as a member or offering work for them. So that's the goal for us. Quite a lot of things on our plate, as you can see, but we love challenges, as I said early on. That's the end of my first part. I don't know how long I took. How long? Well, 20 minutes, not bad. So, stand 22B, or B22, just there in the corner. Please come and visit us. Yeah, I count on all of you. You've got both websites for both agencies. You can scan this. It will take you to a form. and those nice bottle of wines that we've got downstairs. There's Saint-Estèphe, there's Saint-Emilion, and the third one is a Gravin. I can't remember which one, but nice bottle of wine. So please register, and we'll pick up the winner at 5 o'clock today for the draw. And if you're interested in training, that's the second part of that. Then if you register by the end of the week, then you'll be offered a VR experience during your training next year. Here you are. So thank you very much for being here, listening to me, and I'm happy to answer any question you may have.
Curriculum or the materials when you're upskilling people and teaching them how to use these no-code tools? What was the process behind that?
For the people at the association, you meaning? Or so we haven't done it yet. Okay. That's the plan. That's part of the next steps. It's challenging in any case for anyone you want to pick as a student. And I would have a good example. So we've done a few training sessions over the last year. And the first one that we did were people that we picked from friends and family. Okay. Our scoring was 50-50. So some of them got really interested in it. Some of them were interested but ended up doing something else afterwards. And then the last one that we did, we actually asked people that were part of the company to identify, so that were working for us, to identify individuals that could be interested in no coding. And we didn't do any tests, any interviews. We just picked on recommendations from internal employees, and we got a brilliant team of trainees. So. And that's our next step as well for next week, actually, where we're going to meet with all of them to try to understand, okay, without doing any tests, just by knowing the person, you were able to grab really good candidates. What are your key criteria that you've been using to pick those people? Because we're not doing as well as you do, despite testing, despite interviewing. So please tell us so that we can, do as well as you do. And for these people from the association, I think, it's we're gonna have to try again. I think the more you know the person, the more you know that they fit for the job. So you can try testing, you can try setting up some criteria, but I think knowing the person is the best way to identify the one that will fit the job. And that's how I've been employing people. It's more about having the set of mind than the technical qualities. The set of mind of the person, how much will do you have to get out? How much will do you have to succeed? How much will do you have to work with people, to change your life, right? And then the technical aspect will be able to train you on that. But those first few things, the first social criteria, you need to have them, and you can't train people on that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, please.
Can you please show us examples of the apps you've developed that can be used by other organizations?
So those apps, you will need to come to our stand. We could show that to you if the connection is good enough. We've got them on our phones as well. So definitely we'll be able to show that. We haven't finalized yet the process about sharing this with other companies or with other associations, but it's definitely something we're going to do. So please come to our stand and we'll share that with you, definitely.
Probably just more of a comment, but our organization we have hired people that were incarcerated, people that were homeless, people low income, and to be candid, we've struggled to find people to do the work. What we find is that they just don't go deep enough. So, for example, if we gave them a task to build a small app or something, if you told them exactly what to do, they could do it. But I find with technology, there's always, you have to think a layer deeper and then a layer deeper and a layer deeper. And so we've found it hard to get them to think deep enough into a topic. I'm sure I'd be interested in your training because of our challenges.
Yeah, I think for this specific public, there's so many other, we call them freins or brakes. So any thoughts of things that stops them from moving forward that needs to be addressed before even getting to the work aspect. As I said, this can be mobility problems, it can be financial problems, it can be health problems. There's so many psychological issues as well that need to be addressed sometimes first, and that's what we do at Taboo. Is usually the first 4 months are nothing to do with work, although they come to the farm. It's what I didn't mention. It's a 2-year process, up to 2-year process that we put in place to get people back to work and have their own flats. So that's a 2-year long process, because you need that, especially for people that have been homeless for a long time. If you don't address those problems, then you can't even hope that they'll go back to work. So I agree with you. All those type of works that you want to give them and having to go deep into the tasks. If you haven't sorted the surrounding problems with them, then it will be challenging. So those training will take place once you've addressed those problems, and that you feel that the person is ready to go back to work, the person has accommodated to the new environment. Then you can start giving them, that training. They need the strength to move on and address and leave behind their problems, and that's not easy. 4 months is a minimum, I would even think. That's what we've given ourselves. In terms of training, but that will be the next. We'll go through the training afterwards. So I'll take another question, but I'll answer that to you in a moment. Any other questions? Yes, please. May I ask you just to give me your name and the company you work for before?
Okay, my name is Karis. I am trainee at Alegria Academy.
Okay.
I'm very interested in impact initiatives, and especially job-first organizations that focus on giving jobs to deprived people. And I was wondering, do you, in the foreseeable future, do you intend to create other job-created activities, like in Australia, they are working with people who can do cleaning jobs, or in the US, it's truck drivers. Do you intend to create other job-creating projects for homeless people?
Thank you. So what we do, so they work, when they come to us, they get to work at the farm. It's not to make them farmers, but it's just to get them used to be back at work, getting up early, being on time at work, politeness, talking to people around you without making a fuss for someone who said a word that's not what you're expecting. It's accepting to work with someone who's going to tell you what to do, who's going to teach you what to do. This can be quite complicated when you haven't worked, some of them at all. So there's that. So we're not training farmers. What we're looking at is getting them back to work, and then trying to understand what they could do as an individual based on their skills, based on their intentions, and then we find the path together with them. So we've got a social worker dedicated to work that's going to make assessment with them. What do you like? What have you been doing in the past? What didn't work? And what can we do for you? What kind of training? What kind of placement would be interesting for you to be done? So that's that. So we are actually quite open to the various option of the individual. If the person wants to do, we've got some people that are willing to look after kids. A mum would never worked 4 kids, and she's very keen on looking after kids. So we're training and taking her towards that. And there's someone who's getting to learn how to drive those little trucks with, you know, to lift pallets. Thank you. So forklift. So there's various options. However, and another one, as I said, is the academy. What we will do, so we're not setting up specific work. We're very open. However, what we're going to be doing is we're going to reopen new farms across the department. So the department is being Gironde, so southwest part of France, with the goal. So next year we're looking for fundings, and the year after we'll prepare the field. We'll get the greenhouses built up, and not do it ourselves this time. Water supply and everything. So in two years' time, we'll have a second farm, and I would hope very quickly afterward a third one, etc., etc. And those people, so 20 people at a time, being looked after for a 2-year period, up to 2-year period, that will be able to find a job, any kind of job that suits them. Right, I think based on the time we've got, I'm just going to take you through the next one. Possibly less interesting, although we're talking about you this time. So if most people are staying around, so the no-code history first. It's quite interesting because you hear quite a few different things. No-code has been going on for 10 years. I was talking to Brits that last night, telling me that they've been doing no-code for 20 years. So where does this start from? I'm not sure. What's interesting, though, it's becoming far more and more efficient. It can do, some people are saying, anything these days. So it is becoming a very valuable tool for everyone. But there's still very few people that can do that. So as I said early on, so you need to train people. That's key. If you train people, then you're just gonna find opportunities for companies. I mean, you've seen early on from Allegria. Allegria was here with L'Oréal, and you know L'Oréal is looking for solution. They're looking for people. Everybody's looking for people. So we need the few training centers that we've got in France have to up our game to provide solutions. So why coming to us at Nocody, to study at Nocody? As I said, there's quite a few organizations offering training, online training, specific training. We work slightly differently. We, as you know, both an agency and a training center. This is actually great. Such an important factor. Why? Just because the people that are training you, the people, the trainers, are actually workers from the agency. What that means is that all the time we've got to keep looking at what's useful, what's the key, the key tools that we need to train people on. And how does it integrate with the rest? So if you work on Bubble, okay, it's got its own database, but if you want to do something a bit stronger, then you may need to link it to something, to a database that is strong, whether Xano or else. So you, being both an agency and a training center, allows us to offer something that meets agencies' requirements. The first training that we did, despite doing everything we could to make it interesting to the student, to make it fun, to make it practical, what we found out when we enrolled those two people out of the group was that actually we missed quite a few things, of course. So what we had to do and what we can do is actually adapt our training program as we move along, adapt it based on tools that are coming up in the market, that are useful, that we find good, but adapting it as well so that people can actually do everything an agency is expecting them to do. And that is one of our strengths here at Nocody, is that we get to train people to the expectation of an agency. There's 10 of us at the moment. We, of course, so Calliope doesn't talk to non-speakers, non-French speakers. Calliope is an accreditation you need to have if you want to offer financial benefits to your trainees. So you need to take a certificate kind of things, be audited. You're audited every 18 months, and they check that you do things properly. It's challenging for every training centers, but it facilitates people. It allows people to get on board and have financial helps. We're part of the SFPN. SFPN is the syndicate that organizes that. It's a syndicate of companies, not people. So all the SFPN stand for Syndicat Français des Professionnels du No-Code. Okay, so no-code professional French syndicate, right? And that's a key place to be. You get to know all the key actors as today. We're part of that, of course. Our values, well, you would have guessed, our values are very much about sharing, about efficiency, believe it or not, because what we do, it's got to be efficient, it's got to be simple, it's very much like no code. But the other thing is security as well. Data security is key, whether it is about GRPD or others, system security. We've been managing people data at Debout. We've got to be extremely careful to what we do. So GRPD has to be part of our genes. So matching academia and agency gives you the best training. That's what I was talking about, and we're based in Bordeaux. Okay, nice little place, an hour away from the seaside. I recommend big time. So this is our 2024 training program. I won't go into the details of what we do, but it gives you it's to give you just a quick overview. So what we've got is a 3 months boot camp training that's gonna teach anyone that doesn't have a clue about developing. And it's gonna take you from a 0 to a hero in terms of no code. And we're gonna take you through most of those tools, and it will come along with specific trainings that will be specific training on, we've got on web app, mobile app, backend. We've got various training. What you can't see, I think, is here is what will come up is the Power Platform as well from Microsoft that we haven't started. We've worked on it. We know it. If we're not certified, we will be certified because we know it well, and we'll be offering training on Power Apps, Power BI, etc., etc. So that's the 2024 program. And what's important to say is our training, I can't remember whether I've got it afterward, I'll say it anyway. Small groups, never more than 15 people, face to face. It's key for us to be different from what you've got on the web, where you've got to self-teach. Oh. So the idea is very much to be able to have a coach with you, get to learn to work in group, practical work based on what we do in the agency. So it's smaller than what you can have in other places. It's face-to-face all the time. You may have a day or two where people are working from home because you've got to know how to work from home as well, and that's something that can be challenging for lots of people, myself included. So yes, that's what we're looking at doing this this 2024 year. Nocody about empowering you. So in addition to the training that we're offering, we're looking at next year at offering a solution for software publishers. So I don't know whether there's any of you around here, but we're looking at talking. We are talking to Time Tonics. We're talking to quite a few. What do we have? Vertigo as well. The idea is to, yes, try and offer training on their solution, but offer more than a training option. It's to offer integration by adding either front and Webflow, for instance, to Time Tonic, and that's something that they like, and that's something we're looking at enhancing. We are always looking for consultants, so if there's a consultant here, please raise your hand. But we are looking for consultants specifically for any kind of training that we don't offer today, and like most other organizations, you look for specialists. We like specialists from in-house because they know quite a lot as well, but it's a different way of working, and we're always happy to work with consultants. And the last one is become I can't remember now. Yes, become a trainee, I think it is. So empowering you, empower people that want to be trained at our place. And what I had was, I think, what I had on the previous slide, but also on the next one. Yes, come to stand 2022. That's great marketing, don't you think? That's for next year. Will be even better. But yes, if you want to register to one of our training sessions again, be treated to a VR experience during your training next year. Check this out again. And thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Yes, please. May I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Today I'm looking for a training center. My name is Elvire. I'm looking for a training center to learn Nocody, but do we need to be based in Bordeaux if we want to follow your session?
So, based in Bordeaux, you don't have to, but the training will take place in Bordeaux.
Okay.
Okay.
As there's no online
We
virtual
don't.
classes.
No, we don't do
No?
that at this stage.
Okay.
It's something we're thinking about because there's lots of requests to do that. There's people that work during the day and can only do evenings. We're looking into it. But right now we don't. Just because we think it's a nice way also to differentiate ourselves from everything you've got outside. online as well. So, but we're thinking about it. We had quite a few requests this morning.
Yes, because you can do it face to face, online by virtual classes. Actually, I'm switching job. I'm going from being a product manager to e-trainer, digital learning, and I want to teach people how to use no-code tools. But I have no knowledge far to no-code, so I want to learn no-code and have to teach people. But I'm an e-trainer, so I'm doing virtual classes.
What we're doing at the moment, as you know, I mean, no-code going to be massive. And part of what we're doing at the moment, we're training no-code builders, but it's important for us as well to train trainers. So please, let's talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
But we will need to have people to train and experts in the field. So yes, but no online at the moment, but there will be maybe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? Thank you very much, everyone.